Alright guys, so I'm here at night. I just got out of seeing the Secret movie called Young Washington. And this is about how the birth of our nation, the US, came about. And Pennsylvania does have a key. It's not only called the Keystone State for a reason. It is one of the main reasons why the U.S. started that in Virginia. Now, I don't know if I could go too deep into it because it's not coming out until the 4th. But this is my review. The acting is decent. It is from Angel Studios. But it also is very inspirational. Now, I don't know how many liberties they had taken in watching this movie, or in making this movie. There's probably liberties that they took in the story. I can't really get into it too much because it's not coming out till the 4th. But it was very powerful. A very positive message. I kind of feel like Angel Studios, though, I've noticed in their movies, like they seem kind of edited. I'm not sure. But, in general, Young Washington is what it's called. Young Washington, is a pretty good movie. At the end, they have a thing with Kelsey Grammer, and he talks about, he has a special message. But beyond that, I feel that it also has a lot to do with how the forefathers had God on their minds when they created the U.S. They were breaking away from the British to the New World, and a lot of the elements that you think you would see in the movie are there, and it could have very well been shot in this state. I'm not sure though, but a lot of areas I've seen could look a lot like Pittsburgh when you have before the all the stuff was there. I don't know, it looks a lot like Pittsburgh in when it was before the city. But this movie is going to start tomorrow about what the July 4th special is going to be. And that is the start where it all began. Fort Pitt, Fort Duquesne's 5 Points. And that is how we're going to do July 4th. The history of the United States and the history of how we got here. A lot of videos that I've been doing have been about birthdays and birthplaces, and now I feel like this is the culminating point where we could have about the birth of our nation. So this starts it up, and check out Young Washington on July 4th. For now, I'll see you in the next. This is the NC Explorers signing out. Look at these kind of houses here. These are nice. So I was born, like I said, I was born in Shady Grove Hospital. Dad is in the room sleeping. Frederick Road. Actually, I've done a video in Frederick, Maryland. It was on a series when I went to Cumberland, Maryland. I got confused because I thought I was born in Cumberland, Maryland, but it turns out I was born in Shady Grove, which is by Rock Hill, which is in Montgomery County, the Shady side. So I don't know where I'm, but they said I was from Shady Grove Hospital. So we're going to go with that, which is right next to Rock Hill. It's in Gaithersburg. Somewhere in Maryland, in the DC metro area. So somewhere in all of that, I was born. And over here, they have the metro station. You have to walk to that tomorrow. I want to walk around a little bit here. Alright guys, so we are going to do an epic tale of how this nation's almost started with George Washington. And we are going to head up to the Three Rivers Point. So we're going to head up now, and I'll see you in a bit. Alright guys, so we're in Beaver Falls now, and we're going to head up to the to Pittsburgh and kind of walk around North Shore. How the day ends, I have no idea, but that's what we're going to do today. And we'll see how, and we're going to try to go to Point State Park, if it's open, or the museum in there. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright guys, we have arrived here in Pittsburgh. And our adventure starts now. Right in the parking lot, or parking garage of the casino. I've done this a couple times, all around North Shore, but being that what had took place here or around here 250 years ago, it was important, I think, to do this. So this is kind of honoring and celebrating our national birthday. So alright, yeah, so I was kind of looking it up. It really was like, so the Declaration of Independence was in Philadelphia, but in Pittsburgh it started the expansion of the United States. They called it the Gateway to the West because of the Ohio River where it landed, and Lewis and Clark took their adventure. They started here. It's the end of where the Northeast is, and you begin to enter the rest of the U.S. But it is kind of cool because it's like to think about where we started and now. 250 years later. I think that's pretty cool. Alright guys, so I don't know if we'll catch, I'm curious to see if they have like the fireworks set up on the Point Park. That's our destination, but we are going to stop at a lot of the memorials and things like that. Like I said, I know I've done this before, but this is special because it's not like you get to see a bicentennial or a what we are now. I have no idea what they call it. I know it's 250, but I don't know what, like, they just call it 250 or bicentennial. I don't know. Either way, this is the Landing Hotel next to the casino. Now, back in the day, in the 90s, all you had was that over here, the Carnegie Science Center, now Keeman Science Center, but that was in 92. In the 80s, you had the Three River Stadium, but all of this was like just land that was used. That's where all the industrial area was. And they took it down and they made a nice North Shore. That's how we got this. So it's not that like, I think the casino and all of that came out in 2000. So, really not that long that it's been around here. So, it looks like they actually have the go-kart set up. Now, when I was here a couple months ago in February, they had this down for a little bit, and I found out that they actually built a casino, or they built a go-kart track in that building. So now you can go on the go-kart track. Cayman Science Center. So over here is the Acrisure Stadium. It is hot. And of course it's huge. Do you think the Steelers are going to finally do it this year? Probably not. They used to have a good team. We just lost it all. But see, they kept the Heinz sign up there. I guess to remind like of what it was called. But then they have the Acrisure Stadium. But it's like, why didn't you just keep it behind? I guess because of money, I guess. But it doesn't make any sense. It's the Heinz Field, it used to be. And now it's the Acrisure Stadium. But they kept the Heinz there. I don't get it. Oh well. Now, I was not here when they had the draft. I heard a lot of people were here. I just, I didn't go to it because it would have been hell to find a parking space. But I'm glad that people went to it. I remember when that giant cinema used to be a 360 degree movie theater. Now they have it still a decent sized movie theater, but like it's not the expansive theater that it was. Press the gate. Okay, coming up you'll see like on this side the river, which they have a they have one of the battleships replica of it. Guess they're doing construction here. So you have the Pitt Panthers that play here. And you have, yeah, Panthers and Steelers. Guess they're doing some work on that. But you can see the seats up that way. University of Pittsburgh Panthers. The quarterback, I think, was from the Panthers. They brought him over to the Steelers, but then they jumped around with the other quarterback. Or he's from Penn State, I'm not sure. Penn State or Pitt. Oh, it's hot. It's just fine. Oh, wow. They started having things set up here already. We'll get a sneak peek. That's the Acrisure Stadium. I gotta see this now. I guess you can't get out there. Right now, at least. I don't know what they're doing. I thought you could, but I guess not. Hopefully we can still walk around there. At least you can see what they have coming up. Oh, so for like they have the Third Eye Blind and Nelly coming for the 4th of July. Now here's what makes me feel really old. Third Eye Blind started when I was around like 12, 96, 97. I was like 11 and 12. I like how they have this mini field here. But yeah, they were around my time. And now they're considered like classics. I guess that's how people in the 80s felt whenever, or 90s felt whenever their 80s songs were classics. Time moves fast. Well, I started setting up a little bit. There's the Ferris wheel. I don't want to bother anyone that's like working now. You can see. I wonder if any of this is free. Probably not.